Dave for the Redneck Garage. First, I thought we'd start out with something funny. The other day I was filming, I was going to talk about the new European headlights, and this happened. Next thing I'm going to be doing is working on my... What I was looking at was this. The lens completely shattered into 4 different pieces, and the reason it was no words coming out of my mouth, because every filthy word in my vocabulary is running through my head, and I just didn't get the words out. After that, you get to turn around and buy another light. So I got another replacement one, but I was kind of upset that it just slipped out of my hands, hit the ground. The screws are in the box. They don't put a couple screws in the light, which is what I was imagining. So anyway, tonight, Randy and I and the boys are going down to Bridgestone Arena. I will be wearing my Predators jersey, and we're going to watch the Predators play their first home playoff game at Bridgestone Arena, and it's going to be off the chain. Well, while we're waiting for the computer to come in so we can finally take a drive around the block in the Jeep, I thought it would be a good idea to get started on getting the doors and the windows in so we can get it airtight to finish up the interior, because you don't want it raining in brand new seats and carpet and all that stuff. So let's take a look at the doors. Alright, I got the door on, and I remember Trev saying, why didn't you paint the inside of the door? Because I was lazy and didn't feel like it. But we're going to be putting the rest of the components on the door so we can get the glass in. So I'm going to pull out my Box O door parts and see if we can figure out what needs to go on it. Now there's some glass and some weather stripping and all kinds of crap. So I'm going to go through it and see if we can figure out what goes where. Yeah. Randy's here! Yeah. Welcome to 1979. He's got underwear from 1979. On. On. He came to look at the Jeep. Yeah. And the puppies are helping. Yep. Yeah. I got the radio working. Cool. Yeah. That's how the old gray looked, and I sprayed on the tan, and it looks super nice. So we'll let it dry a little bit. Spray some satin clear on it, and it'll be ready to reinstall. Man, that looks good. You can kind of see there's no door handle or anything. Then it ends up looking like this when I'm finished, which I'm really happy about. It looks great. Got all the hardware on. Everything's functioning like it's supposed to. Lock and unlock. Window rolls up and down like it's supposed to. So let's go through a couple of the steps that you have to go through to get the door back on. Well, if you got a Jeep, you probably dealt with one of these. This is your door handle, and this is the new one, this is the old one, and you can see that this spring gets weak and it almost doesn't want to return back as compared to the new one, which is good and tight. This part here, where your handle's attached to, will wear down at the edge and eventually get to the point where it won't retract it back to open the door. And that's where we're at with this one. It's just toasted. So here's the new one. And the way these are held in is these little clips on the edge. It's got these sawtooth little retainers that actually will slide down here on the side to hold it in. Kind of unique, really. When you're looking at the handle, you can see that there's a pin that goes in right in here. The rod goes over for your door handle. And then this whole operation hinges on this little bitty stinking pin. Looks like a miniature hitch pin. So you don't want to drop it or lose it. I ordered some extras, so when I do that, I'll have an extra come on, but we'll put that in. You can see that the rod is on there, and you can see the hole. That's where I got to get that pin. I'll use a pair of long needle nose and slip it down in there. Alright, I got the pin on. You can see that it's connected right there at the end of the handle. And now we got to put our Super Duty wedges in there, and we should be done with the handle. Alright, since it's not rusty and it's pretty clean, you can see these come up from the bottom, and you can see where it's on that little alligator teeth there. You just take a big screwdriver and kind of force it up till it clicks in on either side, and your handle's in, which is kind of a weird thing, I tell you. But this one's done. On the other side, since the handle's flipped around, you go from the top down. But you can kind of see the smaller end goes at the bottom, and it kind of just slides up in there and it graduates up, and the handle's on there good and tight. Okay, the door handle's good and tight. It's all lubricated up. This is the point that you want to try and make sure that everything works smoothly. Works like a champ. Maybe a little bit more adjustment on the door hinge itself Needs to go in a little bit, I would say. But we've got to get all the gaskets and everything on it, really, to give it our last test. Washing off the glass, and then we'll be ready to put that in. Well, let me show you how ridiculous this rebuild has become at this point. I've got my windshield visors and thought that I wanted to save the stickers. So I messed them off. We're going to see how these turn out, but I thought I'd give you a quick overview of the interior so far and how it's looking on the Jeep. Okay, I have to admit, they do look pretty dang good. Actually, they look brand new, so where I matched over the stickers, it actually looks pretty good. You can't really tell. So I'm happy with that. Got a new mirror to install, so that's going to be going up here. Get ready to put that on. Start doing some cleanup. Well, the doors turned out just absolutely awesome. Everything works great. I did have a little bit more video that I'd filmed about putting the glass in. However, I had some technical difficulties with the camera, believe it or not. So I missed that part. So I'll just describe it real quick. Basically, once you get to where that point is, you get your door handles and everything on. You're going to slide your glass down into the channel. There's two big screws you screw in right there on the plastic on the carrier. And then I put my rubber weather stripping in after that. It just makes it a lot easier. So that's basically all I did to get that in. Grease everything up on the inside with some white lithium grease. WD-40 makes some. You can get it at Home Depot. You can actually order off Amazon. And other than that, the doors are finished. Now I can go on to doing, like, got to get the bumpers on it and some other junk like that. So we'll just keep moving on. But thought it was cool to do a video on the door handles, because that's going to be a problem with no matter what age TJ you have. Those handles eventually wear out and break. If you do keep them lubricated, they will last longer. I promise you. I'm David from the Redneck Garage. Keep turning wrenches.